It's June 24th, 2024. I am at Joel Pearl, and it's time to get in the weeds. A wonderful Monday morning for everyone. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, so on and so forth. Jeremy Lambert's here. He basically lives here. He's like, I get here, he's here. I leave here, he's here. He basically lives here. Jeremy, how you doing?
Are you saying I live online?
No, actually, because I know what happens when you do get outside of your own bubble on the internet.
Oh,
I have never seen so much stupidity in one thread than I did. Whoo. First of all, how are you? Let's get to that, and then we can get into the real conversation. The thumbnail doesn't matter. Your Twitter timeline clearly does.
They just announced the big WWE in Indianapolis deal for those who may have missed it. WrestleVotes had that late last week, I think on Thursday last week. Now it's official. Royal Rumble 2025 going to Lucas Oil Stadium, and then potential for
a future SummerSlam and WrestleMania, says the boogeyman. Not that boogeyman, not the I'm coming to get you boogeyman. The other one that people made.
Kendrick Lamar? Certified boogeyman.
He is certified boogeyman, but he's the good boogeyman. He's the boogeyman people like. Now, of course, we're talking about a good pal, Chris.
Our good pal. Don't put that out there. We're going to be accused of.
Well, he's everybody's pal, Jeremy. Everybody loves him. He's the guy. We're talking about Chris LeGentle, of course, because everyone wants to talk about how he is. Anyway, he's the EVP of Talent Relations and the head of communications at WWE. That is his formal title.
All right, so there you go. They just announced that. Shout out to WrestleVotes. Oh, he had that on like Thursday. He said they were coming up with an agreement, so he was on that one. My timeline, Joel. People were like, I don't know, mad is the right word. I don't think mad. People were mad. Let's be honest.
People were mad. Irresponsibly mad, no less. Irrationally mad, no less. Irreconcilably mad, no less. You got them in their feels.
People are just dumb. I don't know how else you want me to put this. People are just dumb. I don't know. I tweeted that the Dynamite number wasn't good. It wasn't. There's no way to spin it. Like, that's a bad number. If you want to say it was the Kendrick concert, which I believe played a part, but maybe not a big a part as I initially made allusion to, I agree with that. If you want to say it was Juneteenth, it was summer, whatever excuse you want to come up with, fine. The lead in being Black Panther instead of Big Bang Theory, whatever your reason for this, fine. It's a bad number. 500,000, not a good number. And I do think if the lead in played a part, that's not good either. That's basically saying like, oh, a lot of our success is due to Big Bang Theory. That's not a great that's not a great look of like, hey, we wouldn't draw these numbers if it wasn't for Sheldon Cooper and it was the other Leonard. What's his name?
Hofstetter.
Is that his name? Wow,
yeah,
look at Joel. Big Bang Theory knowledge.
I knew someone with the last name Hofstetter. That's why. Shocking. The Jew knows somebody with the last name Hofstetter.
Yeah.
Well,
and Penny. Do you know Penny's last name?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't. What was Penny's last name?
No idea. You gotta look it up.
I gotta look it up now because now I'm curious.
Penny next door.
I don't think she had a last name on the show. Well, I mean, she became Hofstadler because she married Leonard, but
Amy Farrah Fowler. I know that name.
Yeah, we know that one.
Yeah, I do know that one.
Yeah, I don't think she ever had an actual last name until she
married. Anyway, if you want to say that it was because of the lead-in, I don't think that's great. That like, oh well, because Big Bang Theory wasn't the lead-in, 250,000 people all of a sudden didn't watch Dynamite. I don't think that's a good thing, honestly. But I said, it was the Kendrick concert. People are going to realize that, hey, the most streamed artist over the past month, a bunch of people tuned in to watch that instead of Dynamite. And then, of course, people are just dumb. after that. And people were like, oh, AEW's fan base really looked like they're Kendrick Lamar fans. I don't think people understand. Joel, you're not like the biggest Kendrick Lamar fan in the world. Yeah. The graph conversation. I saw that.
Yeah. Yes, that was a hilarious moment because I'm literally out for a walk and I'm listening to Grapsody. Sometimes it's my weekend tradition. As the kid goes down and I want to go for a walk, so I'll turn on Grapsody. I'll put it on in the evening, and I just hear my name as they're having a conversation about, just in general, like not just rating stuff, but just like how big the pop out show was. And I was like, I heard my name. I was like, no, they're right. You've got a good point, Sting. Then I just kept walking and I found the clip and I put it on the internet.
Like that's the thing. That's the thing is like this was bigger than just some concert. Like way bigger than just some concert. This was literally like a musical celebration. Like my wife is not a Kendrick fan, a hip hop fan, a rap, anything. And she was into this concert. She's asking me, people would come on stage and she's like, who's that? And I would tell her, and then she'd act like, oh yeah, I definitely know that person. I'd be like, that's J-Rock. And she's like, sure, J-Rock. Know exactly who that is. Like she was into it. Like,
but she was also
bigger than a concert.
It was. And remember that your wife and I are very much closer in our musical tastes than you and I are. It's very funny that like I've made this joke before. Your wife and I are on a friendship level more compatible than you and I, or at least should be, because we're on a similar wavelengths. Whereas you and my wife are similar in certain ways that you two would get along better. Anyway, long story short, the concert itself was also like this culmination of drama.
Yeah.
And that was another thing that brought your wife to this thing. And me too, was we talked about the drama on our old shows. And that always kind of stuck to me. I was like, yeah, she's a fan for the same reason I'm fanning over it. It's because the music is good. Yeah. But also there was a lot of drama in it. It was in mainstream news.
That's what I'm saying. Like this was bigger than just some, hey, here's a random concert on a Wednesday. Nah, this was a culmination of so much. And it was I don't want to oversay and say it was a once in a lifetime event, but it kind of felt that way. This is a one-off musical event. It's not like this was a big tour and it's like, oh, anybody can watch this at any time type of thing. It's like, nope, you get one shot at watching this, and so many people watched it. And you think of, he broke streaming records over the past month. People who stream everything may have tuned in to watch this. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to say it hurt the Dynamite number. Now, look, if it's at 500,000 on Wednesday, they got issues. They got some big issues. If it's back to normal, I think it was which is about 750 at this point, then it was a combination of things. And I think the Kendrick concert is part of the combination of things.
And just read, like, if you read our report on Fightful Select, Sean got a lot of reaction from people within AEW and with WBD. And the general feeling was like, yeah, numbers not good, but here's reasons X, Y, and Z as to why it makes sense. And we're not worried if it's, like Jeremy just said, if it's next week and we have a similar number, then there's a bigger issue at hand. But because of a multitude of things happening at the same time, a bunch of people just didn't, people weren't necessarily watching television or watching that show. Honestly, other people have said it, and we talked about it too. The show itself was it was fine. Like Dynamite was a good episode. It's not their best stuff, but it's quality. If you like it and you like what AEW is doing right now, there's some good stuff out there. So people would have watched it, but there was other stuff going on.
People got so in their feelings about there's always an excuse for AEW.
And I don't understand. I mean, I do understand, but I don't understand why people get so weird about it. And it doesn't need to exist on the plane that it does. I was listening to audio from 5 years ago, and it was a Wade Keller show. And they were talking about what the rating numbers and expectations were for AEW. And you know what they said? 5 years ago, Warner would be fine if for the next few years they settle in at 700 to 750 a week. And guess what they're pulling on a normal week? They're in that 700 range and above. It dips below. And if you really want to get into the rating stock, the point is 5 years ago, what was said is essentially what we're seeing now. You're going up against, again, if you want to make it a WWE versus AEW thing, whatever, fine. But like, come on, WWE's been around for 25 years longer than AEW has on TV, on like traditional weekly television, talking about Raw versus what is Dynamite.
It's so, you really see almost like I don't want to say the worst humans in the world, because there's like legitimate bad people out there. You see some of the most toxic people in the world in these comments and everything, and acting like just because I said a Kendrick Lamar concert may have hurt the rating, acting as if like I'm some official AEW spokesperson, or acting as if I have any real investment in AEW outside of I watch the show as a fan and I cover it. Like, it is part of it, not part, it's a big part of my job and everything. But the way they argue, look, I muted the thing. I didn't see any of these rest of these comments. I saw I made Reddit and I was like, oh, I ain't checking none of that. Got no time for any of that. But my wife scrolls some of this stuff and she's like, yeah, just idiots abound. And it's just like, the thing is like, they don't care what the actual opinion is, because I can make an innocuous tweet and my bio literally says 95% of my tweets are just to pop me. That's all it was. I was just like, let me throw this out there and ha ha ha. And I don't care what my actual opinion is on the show, because if they listened to it, they'd probably be like, oh, this dude's way too harsh on AEW. This guy doesn't actually like AEW. I hate all wrestling equally. I don't like any of this stuff. Don't care. Thank you, Pontificating Bear.
I'm looking. Go work in insurance. Anyway. You should do that. Just go ahead. And you know, I want to actually, this is a good point from Ken Bruno, saying the lore around the Monday Night Wars broke a lot of brains. Yeah. And that's a good point. You know, people got they got used to 8.7, 6.8, 9.9. It's like, first of all, this isn't Olympic diving. Second of all, I don't know what you really expected out of all of this. You know, this is whatever. People are silly, but the silliest people are the ones that leave a thumbs up on the video. So go ahead and do that right now. That's our chat. And also anyone who's watching, we're 13 minutes in. There's no reason why I haven't said this yet. We got into it, okay? So leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Go check out our shorts. Jeremy is doing a ton of those, and they are doing quite well. So go watch our shorts here on the channel and donate a super chat.
Please salute our shorts.
Salute our shorts. That's right. Thank you for that 90s reference of 90s references. And of course, donate a super chat. Any amount, get your question or statement read on the air. I'm actually looking back at our ratings archive here on Fightful. And I just want, because, you know, people have mentioned, oh, every year it takes a dip because of Forbidden Door. First of all, this is the third Forbidden Door. So that's one thing to take into account. The episodes going into Forbidden Door sometimes don't do as strongly, but it's not like they take a huge shit, to put it bluntly. The shows don't completely fall off the radar. I think that Forbidden Door is a bit of a hardcore fan concept in certain ways.
Oh, it is.
It is, but it's also, it's just the way it is. It's there are ways to tell stories, and you can do it with different wrestlers and stars coming in from other parts of the world and make it an important decision or make it an important conversation. Sean's here. Good morning. It's early for you.
I'm here to talk about actual wrestling news, which is really depressing.
That's a thing. Yeah.
They've announced, I don't know if you all have covered this yet, they announced that Rumble 2025 headed to Indianapolis. In addition, WrestleMania, SummerSlam in the future going there. They've not had a WrestleMania there in over 30 years. If we don't get Papa Shango in the main event segment again, dropping the ball. But I mean, hey, I'm pretty happy about this because it'll save me thousands of dollars personally traveling to these events, which is very, very nice. But February for a Royal Rumble for the first time ever. It's like February. Look at you. It's February 1st.
You'll survive.
Boo.
But I feel like, gosh, how far back had we reported that they were discussing a possible February Royal Rumble? Like it was a couple years ago we were told they were discussing it. So it's finally happening. I know what the aim was. The aim was do it before the Super Bowl. Do it during the off week before the Super Bowl happens, obviously. Wrestling has gotten very smart about not competing with the NFL, which is very good. But Indianapolis, I mean, it's a city that I visit at least once a year for Squared Circle Expo. I mean, I'm sure that will be a big event around WrestleMania as well, because there's no reason for them to not run now. But it's an easy to navigate city. You can walk around to a lot of different places. There's a lot of benefit to running those there. It's going to be cold. It will certainly be cold. But I mean, also running Lucas Oil Stadium, not so bad. That's an indoor venue as well, so you don't have to worry about that. But I think that, I mean, personally, I couldn't be happier. If this were in like Minnesota or Florida, I'd be like, yeah, sure, why not? But to me, I can drive there, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Will Sid Justice be making
my bit's finally gonna pay off?
Yeah. And he's gonna show up there. He's gonna beat up me and Mercedes Moné. That's what he's gonna do, because the fake Sid account just always talks about us. I would pay that fake Sid account $500 to post a real picture of himself at this point.
Okay, it's out there now.
Just so we could see that.
I need the real Sid to show up, not this fake one.
I mean, that's the thing. Real Sid would beat the living shit out of him. Like, even at his advanced age. Now, it might take him a while to get to the booking for it. I think one time he blamed Donald Trump's travel ban on not being able to fly to AIW, which was very funny. And they had EC3 dress up as Sid and sign 8x10s, which was very good.
Just tell him there's a batting cage backstage and he'll come running.
Beat him with a bat. That's what I'll do.
But I did see you all talking about the AEW numbers, and I don't usually talk about numbers unless they're really great or really bad, and this one was really bad.
Yeah,
people were mad at me.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw that. I mean, listen, I do think that, man, if you open up my comments during that, I expected a lot of snark, and there were dozens of, I was watching Kendrick Lamar comments underneath it, like me underneath my comments, like. There are some explanations for it. I do think that the Big Bang Theory, as I looked at it, listen, if you're relying on that lead in, woof, first off, terrible show. The lead in, the demo at least, was in 1/3. Like, we're talking like 160,000 compared to what it usually is. But I mean, that's not going to extrapolate over the whole thing. It will definitely help the first quarter hour, maybe the second. AEW was talking about their tune-in number being higher, and it was just really funny when I asked the WBD rep, who was just basically like, LOL, it's summer, nerds. Go outside.
It was really hot outside. It was
we're at a heat index here. It was way too hot.
It's really hot in the Northeast. I'm like, yeah, that keeps my ass inside. It's hot, man. I don't care what time of day it was. It was
McDonald's was open. You know, can't compete against McDonald's being open.
Our Kroger staying open till 11 these days. It's great. I mean, listen, I hope the number bounces back this week, just because I hope that every damn show does 10 million viewers. That'd be great for us. But
and you know what? Listen, if you want to do the other side, wait until John Pollock releases the WWE Raw numbers tonight for Canada, because I'll guarantee you that is going to be a awful looking rating given a Game 7 Stanley Cup.
I don't know. Is anybody in Canada going to watch Raw tonight? Like,
I don't think so. I mean, I'll be the only one, and that's just because I have two screens and can do both. But you've got the Oilers clawing back from a 3-0 deficit, forcing a Game 7. It's wild.
Yeah. I'm way more looking forward to the hockey game tonight than Raw. And I liked Raw last week. I liked all of WWE programming last week. There's a lot of good hooks for Raw tonight. And I'm like, yeah, this hockey game where neither of my team is playing, way more interested in it.
It will also dictate whether or not Jimmy comes to work on Wednesday.
Oh, Jimmy's already not working Wednesday.
Oh,
Yeah, I feel like
he's
he's either going to be so depressed that he doesn't come, or he's going to be so happy that he doesn't. Either way, like I feel like he's not going to show up.
He will have flown his ass out to Edmonton already at that point.
Yeah. And listen to this. We've got Phil Lindsay with the balls from Chicago to say, Indiana, SummerSlam has been all around the Midwest lately, but not here. What is this? I wish Chicago could get an event. Phil, I see what you're doing.
Oh,
my
man.
God.
They literally just had a SmackDown.
And he didn't go.
He didn't want to see CM Punk get bloodied and stretchered out. He was protecting himself.
It's okay. He's still got the G-Wagon to go home with.
Guys, thank you for having me on. Listen, I'm sorry that you guys aren't doing the numbers that you thought you would. We're going to get Young Sheldon to air on Fightful Booked right before this.
Nice.
Let's go.
Imagine if we got the rights to Young Sheldon. Honestly, we could print money.
Maybe we should just make an episode. Maybe we should make a show called Old Sheldon, where like he's in his 60s and 70s. That's what's next. They've already middle-aged Sheldon. That's gonna come next, and then they'll do advanced age Sheldon or space age Sheldon. That's gonna happen.
Space age Sheldon.
Yeah, it's gonna be him living on Mars or some shit, and he colonized Mars. He's the only person there. It's just him, and it's a solo show.
I'm about to throw the kids under the bus. There's 12 of them. They can survive.
Yeah, they'll be fine. 12. At least one will hit the brunt, but the rest will be okay.
They come in the other week and they're like, can we watch Young Sheldon? And I didn't hear what they said at first. I couldn't make out what they were saying. And I asked the wife, I was like, what'd they ask to watch? And she's like, oh, they want to watch Young Sheldon. And they were out of earshot. I'm like, why the fuck would they want to watch that? What kind of children are we raising around here that they're asking to watch Young Sheldon? We've screwed up. Damn it. We've screwed up.
It's over. It's over, man. By the way, let's go back. Can we go back to our Big Bang Theory talk for 2 seconds?
Sure.
Penny does apparently have a last name before Hofstadter. Now, because I did some Googling. Apparently, the Chuck Lorre didn't give her a last name. It was hinted that maybe once it was Barrington, but then someone, because there's always someone, found an episode where Penny gets a package delivered. Oh. And they zoomed in on the they zoomed in on the delivery the delivery information, and her last name was Teller. Penny Teller. Penn and Teller. Yes. Got it. Yeah. Good. That's a good bit right there. I don't think it was ever her official last name, but it's on that delivery slip.
Well, it seems like that is her last name, or at least the name she gave somebody.
Good for her.
What was in the box, Joel?
What's in the box? I don't know.
Anyway, I guess now I'm an AEW shill. They still didn't send me a t-shirt.
Nope, can't get the shirt. Yeah, Pennywise would have been a good name for her.
Yeah.
You can't win. You can't win. We are simultaneously shills and goalpost movers while we hate on AEW. It's just the way it is.
I didn't even like Dynamite last week.
we even released a short talking shit about the Owens men's brackets. And like some people were like, no, you don't understand. Why can't you just sit back and watch? It's like, well, because we have feelings and opinions about this.
I don't have any feelings about it.
Oh, you're
opinions,
right. Yeah,
yes.
Opinions,
feelings.
Yes. Feelings are more of we're giving our opinions. I guess sometimes there are feelings in our opinions.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yes. So regardless, we put it out there and people were like, no, just sit back and listen. It was like, well, we're not really doing that. We are sitting back and watching, but we're also, asking questions for the sake of, I don't know, storytelling, for demonstrable storytelling. Jeff Jarrett had a good promo on Collision, though.
That's about the only thing that was good on Collision. That was a skippable show as skippable shows can go. Honestly, I did watch the Ultimo Guerrero and Okada match out of curiosity to see how many times that man was messing with his mask, and he was messing with his mask. That's for sure.
That final lariat at the end, that Rainmaker to finish, the mask just comes off. At that point, editing was just like, you know what? Forget it. It's good enough. And they just did the pinfall. You saw the Ultimo Guerrero response. He put out on Twitter or on Facebook. He said, I came to Collision. I didn't know that they want me in a mask, because he actually lost his mask months and months ago in CMLL.
Years, Joel, years.
Oh my God.
A decade. It was 2014.
You're right. Who the hell was I thinking of who just lost it and they were asked to put their mask back on? There was somebody, anyway, regardless, it was, years can also be measured in months. Regardless,
sure.
He had lost his mask a long time ago, but when he showed up to Collision, he was asked to be masked, and he's like, I don't have a mask. So someone had basically made one from AEW's costume department, and he's like, I wanted to put it on because I wanted to be respectful, and this was what I was asked to do. So he did it. The mask didn't fit. He was having trouble with it throughout the match. And afterwards, he's like, I wanted to be respectful of the people who were doing this for me because they're trying their best, was essentially how it was. Good on Ultimo Guerrero for at least turning that into a positive and speaking happily about his experience. If I were in his shoes, don't know if I would have done the same. I would have been like, I lost this thing a long time ago, right? Can we just no mask? It's very strange. It's like when Hoovy came out with the mask and wrestled with the mask on. That was weird.
The Jeff Jarrett video was very well done. And I know they released like the extended cut on YouTube, which is like 10 minutes long. Also very well done. They babyface Jeff Jarrett, which I don't think, if Hangman's the wild card, I don't think is a bad move to babyface Jeff Jarrett for this instance. Now, if they're going to keep babyface Jeff Jarrett moving forward, you know what? Even better. Make him the top babyface of the promotion. Have him feud against Swerve. Have him win the whole damn thing. Jeff Jarrett winning this title at Wembley from Swerve. Biggest moment in AEW history. That's what should happen. It's not going to happen. I don't mind that they babyface Jeff Jarrett for this. If Hangman is the heel, because that's extra heel heat on Hangman if he beats Jeff Jarrett, who the crowd is now really, really behind after this video package. That was a very well done video. I was wondering how we knew the tie-in between Jeff and Owen, right? We knew it. And that's why everybody was like, oh, he deserves to be in the tournament because of this. Look, do I fully agree? No, not when a world title shot is on the line and Jeff Jarrett hasn't accomplished anything in this setting to be part of this tournament. I understood why he was part of it because of the history with Owen. I still didn't think it made logical television sense when you talk about what the winner of this tournament earns for Jeff Jarrett being in this tournament. They did a great job with the video package. The video package made me want to see him win this tournament before, I want him to win because I just like chaos, and Jeff Jarrett winning is complete chaos and awesome to me. But they babyfaced him. Now whoever beats him, assuming it's Hangman, will look like a much bigger heel. Or go full bore with babyface Jeff Jarrett, baby. Who cares? You know what?
Who's he going to beat? Who could he come in and beat? It's him versus Satnam Singh.
Sammy Guevara. Bring back Sammy Guevara as the wild card, and Jeff Jarrett beats him. And then he beats Jay White. Jay White's a heel. He beats Jay White. And then in the finals of the tournament, I'm going to say it, Joel. I'm going to say it. Jeff Jarrett beats Bryan Danielson. I will forgive the whole promotion. I will drop Bryan Danielson needs to be the world champion if you have Jeff Jarrett win the finals against Bryan Danielson, go on to All In, face Swerve Strickland, face Will Ospreay, and he beats Will Ospreay in the main event of AEW All In, and he wins the world title. That's how I'm booking this thing. Top babyface Jeff Jarrett will save this promotion. You want to do numbers? Jeff Jarrett, when he was the world champion, WCW was drawing 3 million people. When he was the world champion, TNA was drawing 2 million people. Put the title on Jeff Jarrett.
There's proof in the pudding right there.
That's right.
Would Jeff Jarrett do a Spanish fly off the top rope?
No, because Jeff Jarrett doesn't need that bullshit to get over. Jeff Jarrett throws a good working punch, unless you're Steve Austin. He throws a working punch, and he wrestles the basics. He showed up at AIW this past Saturday. Biggest pop of the night. Already moved a bunch of tickets for their show on July 13th. it's a little questionable that, Jeff Jarrett's going to be at AIW on July 13th when there's a Collision on July 13th that technically might be the semifinals of the Owen Hart tournament. And so they kind of tell him that Jeff Jarrett's probably not going to be in the finals. They go to job on spoiling. But let's forget about all that. And let's just assume Jeff Jarrett wins this.
Well, no, hold on. What you can do is you can play it off as instead, Jeff Jarrett had a very important appearance that he needed to make. So we're going to push it to the Dynamite either before or the Dynamite after the Collision. You got a few days buffer. You can do it. Yeah, it's an easy way to get around it. That being said, I think we can get Jeff Jarrett on this show to talk about all this. Talk about as an AIW guest.
Oh, maybe.
Let's do it. If not Jeff, willing to get Karen Jarrett. Willing to get Karen.
I've interviewed Jeff Jarrett. It was for that video game that he did. So unfortunately,
that's right.
Too much wrestling. He liked my energy, which God bless him. He's the one.
Son, I like your aura. And you're like,
he did say, I love your energy. You got good energy. I was like, oh, thanks, Jeff.
I saw that video. I had to edit things from it.
That's right. You did. You did have to edit that because it was on Zoom and it was I wasn't technically sound on that, so you did actually edit that together. But he's like, yeah, I like your energy. I was like, thanks, man. Jeff Jarrett, bless him. Love to have him on this show.
We'd love to have Jeff Jarrett. Let's go. Let's do it. We'll clip this and make this our official investment. I'm trying to think all the times Tom Campbell had to yell and scream total nonstop arseholes just to get Jeff on the show. We can do it with one phrase and show him how it's done. Love Tom Campbell.
I'm all for Jeff Jarrett being on this show. I'm all for, I've already lost my voice screaming over defending Jeff Jarrett. All for Jeff Jarrett winning this finals. All for it. That was about the only good thing to happen.
Senior Nerd, we're very well aware of Jeff's ties to Owen. We know. We know that they were friends and that they were texting. Like we've talked about this. That's why the stuff with Jeff joining the Owen is like, it's understandable. But what we've both kind of taken issue with is the fact that it's still for an AEW World Championship opportunity at their biggest attended event of the year, All In. So it's like, why does he get a pass for that when he hasn't won a singles match since October of last year? I think that's where the problems came up. But if he's going to go all the way, let's go. All about it.
Maybe his being the Texas Deathmatch champion gets him an automatic bid into the Owen.
Like, sure as shit hasn't had to defend it, so why not? I have, by the way, an article scheduled for July. I got to check the actual date. Hold on. Texas, Jeff Jarrett. It's scheduled for, August. I forgot when it was. I have an article scheduled for August 16th of this year. Already on the schedule. I already
Jeff
know what
Jarrett hits 1 year as Texas Chainsaw Deathmatch champion. August 13th, ladies and gentlemen. The article, there's the pre-write for everybody. It's coming August 13th.
Set your DVRs.
Wes Hubble asking, which should I prefer, a guitar shot from Jeff Jarrett or a powerbomb through a table? First off, got a SpongeBob shirt on. Look at that. My lovely wife got me a SpongeBob shirt. Oh, a guitar shot from Jeff Jarrett. Are you kidding me? I assume that thing's gimmicked and nice and like it won't hurt me with it. Plenty of people have taken that thing. So I'll be fine with that. And like saying you got a guitar shot from Jeff Jarrett, way cooler. No offense to Cole Radrick. Than saying I got power bombed through a table by Cole Radrick.
Senior Nerds is following up saying, you want to root for him based on that promotion or the promo from Collision, which is true. And that's why we just got into this whole bring him to the finals. Let's go. All the way, Jarrett.
They babyfaced him. He should be. He should win this whole thing. All
the way, Double J. That should be the tagline for this whole Owen. All the way, Double J.
I like it.
Someone clip that. We'll use it. We'll tag Jeff Jarrett in it. We are the biggest Jeff Jarrett stands for the next 3 weeks.
Well,
till July 14th.
Till Collision on Saturday when he loses.
Oh, come on. It's very interesting that the wild card match is happening on a Collision. That's a ballsy move because people, Collision isn't the most popular show on the slate.
I don't know if it is happening at Collision.
You're just spitballing. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you were going that route. Anyway,
they haven't announced. They've only announced Jay White and Phoenix for Dynamite. So
right, and obviously we know Takagi and Danielson is at Forbidden Door, and that's on Sunday.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see what else they end up doing with it. But other than that, from Collision, the Ospreay match was fine. Ospreay and Brian Cage was again inoffensive, a match with a lot of spots, and Ospreay wins. Anything to add? What are you doing?
Nothing. I don't have anything to add.
Okay. I thought maybe you had something to add about it.
It was a match.
As it should be. Oh man. What else from is there anything else from AEW? I don't think there really was from this weekend.
Great match between Jericho, Big Bill, and Private Party. The crowd was super hot for that one.
Tony Schiavone was very happy with it, considering, on the back of Big Bill's trunks is a quote of his own. Very interesting.
Simeon saying the only Collision they were heavily pushing was July 6th. With MJF, not NJF. He kept saying July 8th.
It's my mom's birthday. Shout out to my mom.
July 8th is a Monday.
Oh my God. Are you trying to say that MJF is coming to WWE Raw?
No, I'm trying to say how does that get through? It's a taped show. Tony Schiavone said it twice. He said July 8th twice. He's like, MJF's going to be on Collision July 8th, Memphis. Twice. I was writing the article. I was like, July. Wait a second.
You know why? Right? You know why?
Why?
Because he was probably looking at the month of June when June 8th fell on a Saturday.
Maybe.
So
but
someone must have been looking at this month's calendar.
Okay, here's my issue with all of this, Joel. It's a taped show. You can edit and redo that voiceover.
That's a good point.
It was it seems very minor, but these little things add up. And if you are not catching July 8th, you're promoting a show that doesn't exist. MJF's going to show up July 8th on Collision in Memphis. What? It's a taped show. You can't edit this? Yeah,
that is strange. I didn't even think about that.
Minor things like this, it adds up. It comes off so low level. It just does.
Meanwhile, it's TNA who's not running good enough venues. No, I don't care. This is actually especially funny because that Raw July the 8th is my mom's birthday, and it's in Ottawa, and that is where my mom lives. So congratulations to my mother. She will be joining the ranks of WWE before I ever did. That's sad. Oh no. Not
a WWE shill. Your mom's a WWE shill, apparently.
Yeah, big wrestling fan, my mom. No, she's not. Neither of my parents are.
Am I gonna meet your mother in Toronto?
No. She's actually gonna be she's gonna be in the States. She's gonna be with my sister around that time.
Wow, coward, ducking me.
Listen, it was either spend July 4th there or spend, I don't know.
Why do you want to spend July 4th in America? That sounds awful.
Trust me, I'm not the one I am the one who had to book the tickets, but I'm not the one who told her when to go.
No.
That's up to my sister to deal with.
Fair.
Anyway, it's fine. I won't even get to see my mother if I went to Ottawa for that episode of Raw. I don't think I'm going, but it's there. There's gonna be enough. But you let the cat out of the bag. You have a plan right now to be coming up north.
Yes.
Coming to Toronto.
Yes.
Money in the Bank.
Yes.
What? Sorry, I thought we were going to do that bit. You should have just done the Yeet video. Yeah. So that'll be fun. That'll be an interesting experience. You're going to go to all the wrestling shows and hang out with me way too much. It's going to be good.
That sounds awful.
Doesn't it? We'll go to the Hockey Hall of Fame. The big trophy, the Stanley Cup, probably won't be there.
That's a shame. Why wouldn't it be? Oh yeah, I guess it would be
probably going to be in the hands of whoever won the cup. The replica.
You got the replica. Yeah, that's fine.
It's not the same. When they do that, they should probably have the ticket prices go down like 10%.
Oh, that would be good. I'm definitely going to the Hockey Hall of Fame. That's really the only reason I care to go to Toronto. I definitely don't care at all about wrestling. I really don't care about seeing Joel Pearl, But the Hockey Hall of Fame is what I want to go to and take a picture with all like, I gotta like find some people to like take pictures of me in front of Joe Sakic's statue or whatever they have there. Take a picture in front of with me in front of Ray Bork holding up the cup, please. I'm just gonna bug a bunch of people to take pictures. You gonna go Hockey Hall of Fame with me, Joel? We're gonna go out on a date.
Depending on the time, sure.
I don't know.
We'll make it work.
I feel like Friday. Like I've already told my esteemed colleagues that I'm not gonna be working. So
okay, if Friday's the plan, we can work it out.
We're gonna do this show, sadly, live from Joel Pearl's bedroom.
It's not my bedroom. This is my office. Thank you.
Okay. I'll be in your bedroom.
Technically, this will be your bedroom. The bed is here, but other than that,
live from Jeremy's bedroom in Joel Pearl's office.
Yep.
We're gonna do this show, and then Joel and I are gonna go on a date to the Hockey Hall of Fame.
We're gonna hold hands and everything.
Of course, we're gonna hold hands. We're gonna take a lot of photos. Yep. We're gonna make our wives jealous.
That'd be great. My wife is gonna be like, "Thank God I have the day to work solo. Don't worry about any of this shit." We have to figure out all the daycare stuff on Friday. But anyway, that's another problem for another time. That's a future Joel problem. Anyway, it'll be a fun couple of days. We should rent a hot tub.
Oh God, no.
No, it's too hot. I don't want to do that. But there's some good stuff coming up. We're looking forward to it. Who's picking up the bill? Jimmy Van's going to pick up the bill. He doesn't know it yet. He doesn't know it yet.
All of this.
Yeah, it's going to be all him. Anyway, what are we going to do? That's not important. Hockey Hall of Fame will be fun. I think you and I would have a good time there. Well, I'm going to see if the Toronto Public Library has deals on entrance fees for that. I think they do.
Am I going to get weird looks wearing Avalanche gear in Toronto? Probably.
God, no. People don't care about any hockey team here anyway. Even the one that people pay to go see, nobody cares.
What if I wear my Darcy Tucker Avalanche jersey?
Yeah, no, that might get some looks.
I actually don't have one.
Oh, damn it. I got a bunch of Ducks jerseys now that I don't know what I'm going to do with now that they're going to unleash a new logo by next week.
Everyone's getting new logos.
Oh, even the Sens? Again? We just did this. Damn Ottawa Senators. Can't keep an owner. Can't keep a logo. Can't keep a team. What are we doing? Yeah, people like Ryan Lambert saying he wears Habs jersey to the Hockey Hall of Fame. People don't care. That's like the Hockey Hall of Fame is like the Geneva of hockey areas, or the Switzerland of hockey areas. It's neutral ground. No one cares.
Or my David Abisher jersey.
Yeah, you can be like that meme of oh my God, what's his face wearing the NFL hat? Oh my God. What's his name? Come on, someone's going to tell me in the chat, but it's a very well known meme. Someone just in the stands at a game, just wearing the NFL hats. Someone will tell me.
If you say so.
Rob Lowe, thank you.
Oh, Rob Lowe. Okay.
Yeah, it's a very well known meme. I hope both.
I didn't know it.
Well, you should have.
I don't do memes.
Even your wife just messaged me to say Rob Lowe.
Yeah, she messaged me as well.
God bless. That's the general manager doing general manager things. Anyway, you want to cross over into SmackDown? There's a lot to talk about.
SmackDown was a fun show.
Yeah, and we may have found out why if you were subscribed to FightfulSelect.com. New head writer for WWE SmackDown. I don't really know if that was the primary reason that SmackDown was better, but a lot of people are excited now that the word is out that there's a new head writer for SmackDown, and I completely forgot his name as I'm trying to pull it up.
I don't pay attention to these writers.
His name is Frank.
Good for Frank.
His name, sorry, it's not his name. His name is John Swikata.
Okay.
John Swikata is the new head writer for WWE SmackDown. If he is largely involved in what we saw on Friday night, then great. Looking forward to that. If it's just a really good time to be watching wrestling, then I am very happy with that. Yes, Frank Reynolds. He offered us an egg in these trying times. Anyway. So where do we want to start? We want to start from the end. Jacob Fatu has made his debut. Finally, looks great. He had been slimming down. He's gotten real good looking dude. This guy shows up, beats everyone up. Poor Randy Orton. Did you see that spear? He spears Randy through the barricade.
That spot sucks.
It looked like not only does the barricade spot suck, shout out to Tim, who used to love and hate that spot at the same time, but he also did it in the spot where the stanchion is supposed to split instead of in the middle. So he messed up the spot, and you can go back and watch it, but you can see the look on Randy's face. He's wincing. It looked like it hurt so bad, but there was just a good beat down from this guy. And Fatu is in the bloodline. He's in the evil bloodline, Jeremy Lambert. And now the conversation turns to, is he better than Solo Sikoa? Is he the guy?
Yes.
Does he have more aura than Solo Sikoa?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. Well, now that we've had that chat, who's going to
100%.
Oh, all right. Good to know.
I was saying this months ago. I was saying this back when Solo was wrestling John Cena. There's something about Solo, that's not a movie, that he needs to work a little bit faster. He needs to make things look a little bit harsher. And he hasn't really done, it feels like he's going half speed a lot of times. Jacob Fatu ain't going half speed. He's going full bore. And that's what makes him look so dangerous. That splash through the table, that was cooler than anything Solo's done his entire time.
It was very well done. Very well executed.
Like, Jacob Fatu ain't going out there and just doing, again, half speed kind of stuff. Solo never leveled up to full speed. And I think that's going to hurt him. Like, it looked fine with Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa because they kind of work a more methodical, slower pace as well. Yes, I know people like to do the chops with Tonga. Like, they kind of do that as well. So, like, Solo doesn't full on, like, he's not completely overshadowed. Jacob's gonna overshadow him. Like, he just is. He just is. And it's gonna be more and more evident, especially when they start working a match. Like, when they work a match, it's gonna be really evident. But it was evident on Friday at the speed Jacob was going compared to the speed Solo typically goes. And people are very quickly. I think this is why sooner rather than later, but of course you're not going to be able to do this because of the shooting schedule. You need if The Rock is leading this faction, he's got to get in the mix quickly because nobody's overshadowing The Rock. Roman wasn't overshadowing The Rock. So no one's going to overshadow The Rock at all. And if he's there, even Jacob working that, like, Jacob looks like a deadly hitman next to The Rock. Next to Solo, Jacob looks like the guy. He looks like the leader who's telling everybody else, yeah, you do my bidding. And when I want to step up, I'll step up and start destroying people. That's the visual right now.
Yeah. There's a really cool kind of dichotomy between Solo and Jacob Fatu. Yeah, they're both big dudes. Yeah, they're both ass-kicking looking dudes. Fatu, though, like you said, he came in and he was full bore. Solo was always they tried to make him a methodical street fighter, right? He was smart and he could see ahead in his fights, and that style was what made him dangerous. But with Fatu, it's like the way I want to see him in terms of the wrestling matches he will inevitably be booked in. I don't want to see him 1, 2, 3 win matches. I want to see him get DQ'd by destroying people over and over and over again and just being almost a liability. Because you've got Solo brought in Jacob Fatu because he knows how dangerous he is. And Solo needs these people around him because Solo, you know what Solo is? He's too big for his britches. He's wearing his daddy's suits. He doesn't look the part, and I think that's kind of the play. Because he was told once that he is the tribal heir. And what happens, Jeremy, when somebody tells you that you are the next in line? You get a swell head and you start believing shit that people tell you, regardless of whether or not it's true. And this is an opportunity now to start, I read someone say that Solo is surrounding himself with wolves and thinking he can tame them. And then when the wolves all bite him, he's going to ask, what did I do wrong? there is a redemption story potentially for Solo, but right now the real story that is being built is Solo is surrounding himself with very dangerous people that are going to fight for him because he brought them in. But loyalty means nothing when you start going after titles or when you start going after the bloodline or the head of the table, whatever it is. Eventually someone's going to say, who made you the guy? And that's when The Rock could show up and be like, I made him the guy. And of course, you got Roman on the other side. Roman would say, well, no, I'm the tribal chief. I'm the head of the table. I don't lose matches. Other than that one time, we don't talk about Cody. But the point being here, if you're telling the story with the bloodline as a whole, eventually this civil war that they're going to build will focus around how these dangerous men that Solo has brought in, how aligned are they with Solo when power becomes a possibility. And I like that. If that's where the way they're going, I like it. Fatu is just dangerous, and I want him to continue to look dangerous. He doesn't give a shit about titles. This guy shouldn't, at least not for a while. He should just be there to beat up people.
I don't mind that. I see what you're saying. I think the issue becomes it doesn't seem like they're going to turn on Solo anytime soon. Like, these are Solo's guys.
Yeah. They're indebted to Solo for being brought into WWE.
Yeah.
Right. He gave them the opportunities. He gave them the big money contract or whatever you want to do to justify it. Yes. Not for a while would this happen.
Because Roman's going to come back, potentially SummerSlam. And that's when I assume all these people are still going to be on Solo's side. The one thing that stuck out to me of what you just said, you said these guys are indebted to Solo, and that Solo is basically almost cosplaying as the leader who's not the real leader right now. Roman's gone, and this is why he doesn't feel like the leader, because he's not. He's the guy who is there because, Roman is gone, so who else was it going to be? So he feels like he's making leader moves of, I'm bringing in my guys now. What you're saying makes sense. The problem is, as a television character, it doesn't come off the best. Like, you would still want to sell him as a guy who actually is the leader because that's still what they're trying to do. They're not trying to tell you he's lesser than. They're still trying to tell you, this is now the guy. It's just not believable as the guy. And when you're trying to set up a potential match in him and Cody Rhodes, or you're trying to set up a potential match with him and Roman Reigns, you can't have him come off as lesser than and like, he's somebody who he's the guy in his own mind, but he's not really that guy. Because then nobody buys him as that guy. And that's where he's at right now, is he's not really being bought as that guy, but they're trying to sell, hey, he's the guy to beat Cody Rhodes because Roman couldn't do it. Hey, he's the guy to beat Roman Reigns when Roman Reigns comes back. They did it where they dropped the ball with Solo was after the Cena stuff. I know people like to rag on his WWE Live. I don't give a fuck about his record at non-televised events. Those are send the fans home happy.
Yeah, they're non-televised.
Yeah, baby faces win. But on television, they didn't do anything for Solo. He could have lost every live event possible, and it would not matter to me if they'd done something worthwhile with him on television. They didn't do anything worthwhile with him on television after the Cena match. Name one thing he did on TV after the Cena match. Like, what did he? I can't name you a single match. I will go back and I'll actually look at this. So he beat John Cena, right? Here's his cage match record, by the way. And I know cage match, not really an end all be all type thing. And it's only going to, just give you like results and not storylines. And I know storylines are obviously very, very important. Beat John Cena. Where is this match at? Okay, Crown Jewel, beat John Cena. He actually lost to LA Knight a month before that. Not super helpful. Beat John Cena, lost to AJ Styles by DQ. lost to Randy Orton in about 5 minutes, lost to LA Knight by DQ, Bloodline rules against Seth Rollins, no contest, lost to Jey Uso by DQ, beat Kevin Owens, that was last month, or earlier this month, that was like a week ago, actually, 2 weeks ago, and then lost to Cody Rhodes by DQ. It's a bunch of DQ losses where my memory's not that great. I assume Bloodline jumped in or he just got himself DQ'd, but that's not helpful. Like these DQ losses there, and then losing to Randy Orton in 5 minutes, none of this is like helpful. This is all since he beat John Cena. He should have been wrecking dudes after he beat John Cena. He should have won all these matches, not losing by DQ. He should have beat AJ Styles. What's wrong with beating AJ Styles? He loses every week to Cody at this point. Like he should have won most of, if not all of these matches. Some I get you want to protect. So you want to protect Seth and the bloodline rules. That was the big Rock beatdown and everything. Like, fine. I get that. Jey Uso, the night before WrestleMania, that was when it went to a DQ because everybody interfered. You didn't need to do that match. That didn't accomplish anything for anybody. It hadn't done anything. It hasn't done anything worthwhile since beating John Cena.
What's really frustrating, and you're right, by the way, it's true. Everything that you're saying is true. And if you rewind 1 year back, Solo Sikoa was beating everybody. And it was all being built to the match against Cody Rhodes going into WrestleMania 39 against Roman the first time, where Cody gets the win over Solo. Solo's first big L on main roster. And then that was like oh my God, Cody can do it. This is it. Obviously, we know what happens and we wait another year. But Solo was kind of always stuck in that position of being the number 2 guy in terms of importance in the bloodline, hence the tribal heir. So he was always presented number 2, but like you said, once the John Cena match happened, and that was supposed to be like, oh my God, he beat John Cena, but then he didn't really have much else happen. Everything that you just talked about, it's either some DQ or some sort of weird bloodline interference. He hasn't been built to the way that he was back when he was in the middle of dealing with the Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns stuff from the first time around in 39. It's frustrating. And that's something that I hope someone brings up and says, what have you done? What have you done here? Other than amassing these men, and I'm talking storyline wise, other than amassing these people, these very dangerous men to be by your side, what have you done? And that could be the Cody story. Honestly, that could be the Cody story if they're going to run with a Cody versus Solo Sikoa type of match, whether that's one-on-one at Money in the Bank or if eventually they're going to do one-on-one. I don't know if it's going to be Money in the Bank. It feels like that's a tag match that's coming up. But if they do it at SummerSlam, Cody should just say, what have you done? You brought in all these people, but these people are just dangerous men who are going to beat the crap out of you the second you show any form of less than. Any form of what's the word I'm thinking of? It is weakness. If you show weakness, they're going to pounce on you, they're going to beat you, and they're going to toss you to the side. That should be the story that they tell moving forward, because they do need to address the fact that that Solo hasn't really won big matches since the Cena match. They got to build them.
They do, and it's going to be tougher with Jacob in the mix, because Jacob, just presence alone, has surpassed Solo already. And they had a shot, by the way. They had a shot with Solo. The stuff with him and Roman against the Usos, and they had the Ulafala, right? I said that right. They were like kind of looking sideways about that. And he took out Cena. Like there was something there that they could have built on. And then they never went anywhere with it. They never went anywhere. And now they got to try to rebuild with it. And they've done a good job with putting people around Solo that make him look like the leader. But throwing Jacob in the mix doesn't make him look like the leader.
And I hope that that's the story that they eventually shift to. After the gratitude is passed, someone needs to point out that these wolves, and in this case, the werewolf, will turn their back the second he has a chance.
Like it does. I know aura is like the big buzzword.
It's a meme word now.
Yeah. But there is something about it, right? Like when Roman Reigns comes out and he just is Roman Reigns, people are like, oh, I'm paying attention to this guy. But even when The Rock was next to Roman Reigns, people are like, oh, all right, Roman Reigns lost a little something here because here's The Rock out here. Solo just never had that about him. He even dresses like a henchman, like the suit and everything.
I'm telling you, man,
like,
it's his daddy's suit. He doesn't know how to dress for the part, and he's trying. And I feel like that's part of it. I really do, because this is one thing where this Bloodline story is and has been very intricate in certain ways in presentation. The facial expressions, the way the reactions happen, like there's a lot of thought put into some of those little intricacies. And yes, it's not perfect. There have been balls dropped, do not get me wrong, but in those little scenes here and there, they really do put that time and effort behind it.
Heyman's done a great job. I do think Heyman has sold it very well, of Solo being the guy, being scared of Solo and everything Solo is doing. It needs to be backed up with, again, some television victories, which they can't fully do now because you can't rewrite everything they've done with since he beat John Cena. You can't just go back in time. It'd be cool if you could, but you can't. So they got to follow it up with a little bit more. And maybe they will. You know, they got some time before not WrestleMania. They got some time before SummerSlam where maybe they're doing Solo and Cody. That's the plan right now. The reported plan, I should say, not the plan. The reported plan right now is Solo and Cody. So you got time to give them some victories. Let's say they do a 6-man tag, or I guess an 8-man at this point. I don't know who Team Cody gets on their side. Randy, Kevin, Cody, and
this is something actually that, again, in the reporting of where was Jacob Fatu this entire time, we don't know what his status will
if
be.
he can make Canada, yeah.
But if they're bringing that, again, this is like, okay, do you make an 8-man tag and then they take out Jacob Fatu, or like how do you suspend him for a week because he goes too far? Like there's got to be something that either takes him out because he can't travel. And again, we don't know what the situation is with Jacob Fatu's travel abilities, but they just debuted him knowing that they're going to Toronto for a Money in the Bank PLE. So that means something in my eyes. Or like I said, they're going to storyline boot him out for 1 week.
I like being suspended because he goes too far. I like that idea. And maybe the too far is he fully takes out Owens or Randy and it becomes a 3-on-2 match at Money in the Bank. I know people might not be super thrilled by that idea, but look, the heels having a 3-on-2 advantage makes wrestling sense. If you keep it at 3-on-3, that's fine. I'd have Solo win that match, and I'd have Solo look really good in that match. I'd go as far as I'd have Solo pin Cody in that match if that's what you do. Have him decimate all these guys and pin Cody. Cody will be fine, especially if you're setting up the SummerSlam match with Cody and Solo. Solo pinning him makes a lot of sense. Well, Solo, yeah, it would add to Jacob's badass aura, which I think is why you got to do something even bigger with Solo at the actual event. That's why I would have Solo decimate all these guys and then pin Cody in the end. You got to do something with Solo to make him level up a little bit and not put him on level up.
I see someone in the chat saying they could be honest about Jacob Fatu's background and say he's so dangerous he can't travel.
They already told that with Tongaloa.
They did, but and that was kind of like, it wasn't joking. It was more like, if you know, and we don't know why he didn't actually end up at Saudi, but you could do it here. You could do, you can make the reference that all of these guys are so dangerous that they get caught up trying to cross the borders at certain countries. You could tell that story because, again, these are all very dangerous individuals as presented on TV. And in this case, you'd be telling the truth, and you'd also be playing it up in the storyline. Jacob Fatu couldn't get into Canada. He was so dangerous. He had priors or something. Make them. This was like, you want to talk about old school wrestling. It used to be the guy who runs the show is stopping the inmates from running the asylum. And if you stop the inmates from running the asylum, you assume some of these people who come to wrestling, they're doing it because they're such badasses. They want to beat everybody up, and someone has gone too far at least once in their life. So this is the guy that you can bring in and be like, he's gone too far once in his life. He's gone so far that he cannot cross the border because he's so dangerous. Something like that could easily work it. And people are saying, it can't be that dangerous. Tongaloa got to work in Japan. Well, that's the thing. Not everybody knows. So you can get away with telling that story. For people like us who do, it's funny, but in the case of Jacob Fatu, it's like, we're not lying, but also it's part of the character now.
And Heyman has done a good job of selling how dangerous these men are as well. I like that the people they're surrounding Solo with. The story, assuming Roman comes back, is there. The concern is, Jacob is going to overshadow Solo. So how do you make that not happen? I don't think the answer, by the way, is tell Jacob to slow down. I think that would be dumb. I was also saying you could make Jacob a liability, so unhinged at the risk of costing them everything.
That's what I'm trying to say is with the DQ finishes, he needs to be brought out, have a bunch of matches, get DQ'd every time. He is too dangerous to be doing this right now. I know that adds to Jacob, but you just brought him in and you got to make him look strong as he was on his debut. You need to keep up that momentum, and that's part of it.
Yeah, that still puts Jacob. Then I'm just like, I don't care about Solo at all. I just want to see Jacob continue to wreck people. I like that Solo can maybe have control of Jacob. Like that makes some sense to me. You got to do something to elevate Solo, not devalue him while continue to put Jacob over. Or just, even if you're not devaluing Solo, keeping Solo where he's at, which I don't think is on television as high right now, while continuing to elevate Jacob. I think you got to do something to elevate Solo out of all of this. If he's the guy challenging for the title, which he reportedly is, if he's the guy who's going to be facing Roman Reigns, which seems to be where it's leading to, you got to do something to elevate Solo. So when he does challenge for the title, people aren't just like, I wish Jacob Fatu was in this match.
You want to add some fun storyline crossover?
Okay.
Aldis brought in all of this extra security for SmackDown. He wanted the Wyatt Six to not infiltrate the building like they did on Monday. So you have all these shots of extra security in every single, backstage shot they were doing. You have someone lay out all of the security, and it's Fatu. And because Jacob Fatu, or even Jacob Fatu and Solo, laid out all of that security because they were angry about something, that allows the Wyatt Six to break in. And I'm not saying that they then work in tandem. It's just something happened that it was cause and effect. There was no plan. It was just taking advantage of a situation. I don't hate the idea of those two. The two things happen, but they have nothing to do with each other. And you can easily get away with that.
Okay. I don't know if that's where they're going to go with if the Wyatt Six are going to be part of SmackDown. If I'm Adam Pearce, I'd probably hire the same security team that Aldis hired. They seemed like they did a good job. They didn't prevent Drew McIntyre from killing CM Punk, but they prevented the Wyatt Six from showing up, so that's good.
You can only stop so many things at one time. And this is one of the things you can't say. Listen,
they were there to prevent the Wyatt Six. That's what they did. They didn't say prevent the Scottish guy from beating up this guy. They were told, hey, prevent these dudes in masks from showing up.
Slipknot's going to be really upset when they won't be able to perform at the Allstate Arena tonight. I don't know if they're on tour. I don't give a shit. This is just a funny bit. That's the only reason I bring it up is because Heyman did make reference to it on the show, but also that's like such a Heyman thing to do. Be like, I watched the show. That's the Wyatts. I don't know why he sounds like Yoda when he does that, but anyway. Once again, my amazing impersonations and characters shine through.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre beat the dog shits out of CM Punk. This was very good. We talked about it on Friday. I said, what do you need to do if you're doing an angle where the pettiest man wins? You get revenge. The man who came to your home turf cost you a big match. You come back and you cost him the same thing. Now, does Drew come out tonight on Raw and say, I didn't actually quit. I just needed you to believe I quit so that I can go beat up Punk? Like, is that all that is? And then they just move along? Fine with if it is. But the whole angle itself was great. They gave Punk his opening promo on SmackDown, got his big pop, got to run around and shake hands and not jump into the stands. And then he goes to the back, and for some reason he's on the loading garage outside the garage door. I don't know why, but he is. And they do the opening the garage sequence, and Drew McIntyre standing over him, carries him to the ramp, I should say. And they do a stretcher spot. Punk is bludgeoned, brother.
Now, this was good. He had to quit because this was the kayfabe reason for him showing up on SmackDown, because, the draft and brand split is a real thing, Joel. He couldn't just show up on SmackDown.
Well, there's no quarterly invitations. There are no wild cards.
CM Punk can just show up on SmackDown despite being drafted Raw, but Drew,
because he's home. It's home. If SmackDown goes to Nashville, do you think Drew can say, hey, I live there? Can I?
No.
Oh, okay.
He's Scottish. Miro can show up there, but not Drew.
Well, what about Sheamus? Sheamus also lives in Nashville.
No.
No? Only Miro.
Yeah, only Miro.
I have the jersey. Look, I have the Nashville Predator jersey. Love the hockey. They should bring that. Miro should show up at Blood and Guts. That should be his return.
Oh.
That should be it.
He's coming off a win. He won his last match. He should be in the tournament. Maybe he's the wild card.
Yeah. I would love to see him be the fifth man in Blood and Guts just because he's home, and then just disappear for another 6 months afterwards.
No, you wouldn't. CM Punk also said he was going to announce he was cleared, and then he never announced he was cleared. So
that's
I don't know if
he wasn't allowed to announce it. The doctors hadn't cleared him yet. But like Sean's saying in the chat, like he said he got permission to appear through the Clash post show, blah, blah, blah. Again, certain circumstances made it available.
I like that Drew felt he had to go to these lengths, because Wade Barrett kind of mentioned this on commentary that like he got fined and reprimanded for his post-show comments regarding Punk. Punk is kind of being favored by authority in all of this. I know that might sound weird, but like look at the story beats when it comes to this. Punk goes out there. He's just allowed a referee shirt. He's allowed to cost Drew the title. Nothing bad happens to Punk. Doesn't get fined. Doesn't get suspended. Drew has to come out there, and Triple H is praising him in the post-show press conference. I know like that was probably more real than kayfabe and everything, but still, they've referenced those comments. They've referenced Triple H's comments. Drew feels he's got to quit. He's got to tell Triple H he's got you fooled as well. Again, making reference to those comments. And he leaves. He quits. He's done. Barrett, he suggests Punk get fired for what he did. And instead, he gets reprimanded. He gets fined for his comments. CM Punk's allowed to just show up on SmackDown. Yeah, we'd love to have you on SmackDown. Glad hand with everybody. It's great. Drew has to come out. He has to stretcher the guy, nearly kill him, because they're showing favoritism towards Punk. And that's what Drew has been kind of hinting at the entire time. When the episode of Raw when CM Punk had just left, when Drew arrived, and Drew was like, how'd that happen? How'd you allow him to leave when you knew I was coming? Who tipped you out? He blamed Pierce. He's like, oh, he just happened to leave. Thanks a lot, Pierce. Like Drew feels he's being screwed over by management. And they're doing a good job kind of telling that story with this. Punk's not really acknowledging it. Drew is certainly acknowledging it.
So now what does Drew do? He shows up on Monday tonight. He basically says, I did what I had to do because you've all been ignoring me, and CM Punk gets special treatment. So now I get, now I got my hands on CM Punk. What happens? Punk's not going to come out. Although we'll talk about in a minute how, you can beat up someone and load them into an ambulance and it doesn't matter. They'll come to work next week if you ask nicely. They were just shaken up. But anyway, you can't have Punk show up tonight. He's got to sell that beatdown. He's got to sell that angle. But you can't tell Drew you're suspended because he did the whole I quit, and he pulled the wool over everyone's eyes. What do you do in this case? What do you do with
Put him in Money in the Bank?
That's the problem. You can't just put him in Money in the Bank.
But you can suspend him. Why can't you suspend him?
Because the suspension feels cheap. Because he's being suspended for, I guess it's for reaction. He did it. What he did was reactionary. He attacked a wrestler who was not cleared for competition. You can make that story. You can absolutely make the connection. It just feels like you can't take him down that peg after you just had him lose the World Heavyweight Championship the way that he did. He didn't lose the title, but the way that he lost the match that he was in, you can't just take everything away from him like that. Or maybe you can. I don't know. That's a weird.
I think for the story, it makes sense though, because it strengthens Drew's argument of like, wait a second, I'm suspended for just going and attacking this man and beating him up, but he is just allowed to appear on SmackDown and be happy-go-lucky CM Punk when he acted as an official in a world title match. You don't do anything to him when he does that, but I get suspended for doing this. Drew McIntyre should beat the shit out of Adam Pearce. If that happens, then you can further do the suspension. But I think a suspension is a fine story beat based on what they're telling.
It does keep Drew off the Money in the Bank card. And it doesn't give you the whole, oh, maybe he's part of Money in the Bank. He's going to win the briefcase and blah, 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 which some people have posited as a possibility, but it doesn't feel like that's where things are going. It really does feel like, as I've said 100 times, triple threat matches, winner moves on, losers are going to face each other for a last chance match, and that's how they determine the sixth man in the Money in the Bank ladder match. And Drew's not involved in those as of right now. I don't think he can be. Can he? Have they announced all the triple threats? They have.
I don't think so. I think there's still.
Is there one more open?
One, I think so.
They've done one triple threat on Raw. They've done two triple threats on. This is men's side. Two triple threats on SmackDown. They've done one on Raw. They're doing one tonight. That's announced, and I think that's it. Maybe So maybe there is going to be, or maybe they're going to announce another one today. And maybe they'll announce another one, and it's going to be Drew's going to be put in it because of he makes his case. And Pearce just says, you know what? Fine. Here's your shot.
Does Drew have a case to make the Money in the Bank match, the world title match, a triple threat? Is that the play for him? He comes out tonight and he's like, I beat you at WrestleMania, talking to Seth Rollins. You over here, you had to cash in because this idiot CM Punk cost me. Then at Clash, I had you beat, and this idiot cost me again.
He does, but I think most people agree that a triple threat match is not ideal. In general. A triple threat match is just kind of, especially when you have Seth Rollins who's just coming back. I don't think it's there.
Okay. I think if Drew goes that route, I think he has a strong case for it. I also think he has a case to be like, look, you gotta, if CM Punk shows up and interferes in this match, if he costs me again, I'm gonna decapitate this man with my sword.
Listen, just go to every single coffee shop in Toronto and sit on it until you see CM Punk, and then you'll know he's in Toronto or not.
Drew should threaten to murder him if he shows up again. Just, if this man costs me another world title match, I'm literally going to kill him.
I'm going to
blood. What I did on Friday was 1/10 of what I will do if he costs me another world title.
I could see it. I don't love a triple threat in this case because also someone's got to get pinned in this thing. And I still think Damian Priest is going to retain. I still think Priest is going to. Yeah.
If Seth is going to get pinned anyway, if you think Damian Priest is going to retain,
that is fair. But to me, it's almost worse in a triple threat. I don't know. The triple threat was originally made so that you didn't pin the person you didn't want, pinned. You wanted to keep somebody strong out of this. Or the other presentation is we want our champion, who is not perceived as the strongest, to beat two major stars to make himself look bigger. But it all depends. Again, it's the storytelling. It's the psychology of the match that matters. If the whole match is Seth and Drew beating the shit out of each other, and then Damian gets in and steals a win, well, that's not fun. But if it's all three men working hard and having equal moves or equal spot, whatever you want to call it, equal momentum, and Damian ends up winning, then yeah, you build Damian Priest further as champion. So there's an argument to do it. It's just you got to get there.
You do the triple threat match. Priest can win. I don't love this because I don't like beating Drew again. But to further the story, Punk doesn't come out, but the music plays. That, of course, throws Drew off. And then Drew, not a roll up, that's stupid, but he realizes Punk's not coming out, turns around, south of heaven, over. Drew loses, took his eye off the ball. Punk never came out, but he still has a case of why he wants to kill this guy. And so you go to SummerSlam with that. Priest wins. You have Priest look strong in the match. I realize the victory a little tainted because of the distraction, but you still have Priest get the win here. Maybe Priest, again, you have him look really strong in the match. Have him take out kind of Seth. He gets the victory over Drew. It's not a full, he needed this kind of help. It's Drew took his eye off the ball. Once again, Punk got in his head and Priest won.
I can see it. Let's see how it plays out tonight. But
we don't know if they're going to do a triple threat match. We're just
we don't.
Some ideas here.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. So the triple threats tonight. Yeah, there's only the one women's, one men's. Yeah. So we're still doing Bronson Reed. And guess who's back, baby? Chadwick Gable. He was just shaken up. He's fine. He wasn't shot. He was okay. He wasn't even bludgeoned. You know what it was? He was walking around. He had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And as he was walking with the peanut butter...
by William McKinley.
Thank you. And as he was walking with the peanut butter and jelly sandwich, somebody clocked him in the back of the head, stunned him. And as he was going to take a bite of the sandwich right then. And he's a really big fan of the jelly. He has more jelly than peanut butter on a sandwich, especially the way that he's been lately, because he's trying to lean out. He doesn't need to lean out. He's trying to bulk up. So this is his peanut butter doesn't matter. He wants the sugar from the jelly. So someone knocks him in the back of the head, punched him in the back of the head, knocks him out. And as he was going for a bite of the sandwich, he just missed it. And that's what this was on his head. That was the jelly from the sandwich, from the peanut butter and jelly sandwich that he was eating. So he had a boo-boo. Adam Pearce kissed it better. Happy birthday, Adam Pearce, I should say. It is his birthday today. And now he's back in the triple threat, is Chadwick Gable. Good for him. Bad for the sandwich.
The peanut butter and jelly sandwich is a very deadly food item. It killed William McKinley, despite the fact that he invented it because he was allergic to the peanut butter.
Maybe he was hoping that whoever else he was going to eat that sandwich around would help them as well.
Do you think Gable played dead? You know how that goes, right? Like,
yeah, a bear shows up and you play dead and you hope the bear doesn't eat you up. That's right.
Do you think that's what Gable was just doing?
I mean, it's entirely possible. I still think he was bludgeoned. Again, he wasn't shot. It looked like a bullet hole. I get it. It is very strange. It's very strange for two reasons. One, they did the main event thing where they announced that Ilya Dragunov was going to be replacing Chad Gable. And then by Saturday, or by Friday night, I should say, you had Adam Pearce release the video just being like, oh yeah, Chad's fine. He's back. He's in the match. Don't worry.
Friday night video though had all the Wyatt glitches.
Yes, it did. So I feel like they'll put him back in, and they'll either take him out during the match, or he'll get taken out before the match, and Dragunov's just back in, and we're just playing happy go lucky here.
Look, King Potato, he was very committed. He saw all the people backstage being attacked, and he's like, "Oh shit,
jelly sandwich." He had a peanut butter sandwich in his hand. It was just off. It was off camera. You didn't see it. That's all it was.
I'm very curious what they will do with the Wyatt Six tonight, because now Gable is just back in a match. Adam Pearce, who may or may not have been abducted for partial time because his Twitter was hacked or whatever. That's what he said. It was hacked. Social media was hacked.
Postman always delivers.
So we'll see how they play into that. Again, is Adam Pearce smart enough to be like, I also got extra security? Or is he like, you know what? We're good. They won't attack again. Maybe he's the dumb general manager.
And this is what's weird is like, is he hacked or is he being possessed? I don't love, or I don't even like the idea of doing a possession angle when we've all sat here for weeks and saying, no, it's not supernatural. It's not this and that. And then it turns out that Adam Pearce has been possessed. And it's like, shit. I don't know what they do. If they do something that's like, Pearce says, oh, no, it's fine. We don't need the extra security. It's cool. LOL, JK. I don't love that. They should
definitely have some extra security.
They should, but it's also possible that, again, if the story really does become Adam Pearce has been possessed by these people, I would A, be annoyed, and 2, I would laugh if he's like, nah, you don't need the security. It's fine. Everything's cool. And of course, his mind has been altered by these people.
I like possession. I like a possessed Adam Pearce. He just comes out looking like a zombie tonight.
This got me good. Thank you, Louis. 9/10 of the lore. And that's a Corey Graves line, is what that is. You know what they say, Michael? It's 9/10 of the lore.
I'm very curious how they follow this up because they're in Indy. Pat McAfee has done some references on his show.
Yeah, he's gonna get beat the shit out of him tonight on his or today on his show. And then who's gonna? You know what? Full circle. Samantha Irvin should do not the announcing, but should do color commentary for Monday Night Raw. People would like that. I would.
That would be good. I think Samantha Irvin would do a good job. Very, very curious what the follow-up is, because they did a great job with the introduction last week. Most people loved the introduction. I know the people who didn't like it, but most people loved the introduction. I was talking about, okay, now how do you follow that up, though? Especially if you can't get them fully in the ring. They shouldn't be in the ring. I'm very curious how they follow this up with Adam Pearce. I like that Pat McAfee was playing stuff up on his show. I assume he will get kind of taken out potentially with all of this. Maybe he does something on his show here coming up. We'll see with that. Follow-up's going to be interesting of how they do it. I advocate just murder more people, honestly. Murder people you can actually like kill off. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the Ricochet effect.
Yeah, like Gable was a weird choice because he had a pretty big prominent storyline going on. So you couldn't like really kill him off. And then they do Dragunov's in, now Dragunov's out because Gable is back. And it's like, you couldn't have just like taken a level up dude and just killed them. It would have been fine. No one would have thought twice about it.
I was going to look at the Raw roster, but sure, now I have to look at the level up roster too. Like, who can you take out from the? I'm looking at the Raw roster. Well, okay, Dijak. Let's say Dijak decides I'm moving on. I'm no longer, not going to re-sign my contract.
Dijak. I love Dijak.
And they bury him with the mask on.
I love Dijak. The problem with that is Dijak could not stay off social media long enough to play this bit. He'd be trying to ratio somebody like 2 hours after he got killed. Like they would post the video of the Wyatt 6 debut, and like an hour later, Dijak replies, "Still alive, LOL ratio." So like he couldn't pull it off. Sorry, Dijak. He's fantastic, but
same thing with R-Truth for that matter. R-Truth would just be like, next week he'd come back like Ramblin' Rabbit. Sorry, dog, I'm good. We have ratio from beyond the grave.
Yeah, that's exactly what would happen.
There's nobody here on the Raw roster that
I'm saying, just kill a level up dude. Like, whatever.
What about SmackDown? Is there anyone from SmackDown that you can take out?
Giovanni Vinci would have been somebody because he's like been off television anyway. It's like, oh wait, was he supposed to come back? You kill him off, and then he comes back as whoever he was before Giovanni Vinci. I forgot.
Caleb Braxton, someone says. I'm sure she'd have feelings about that. Baron Corbin.
Nah, big banter is a babyface now.
That's true. Well, he'd banter his ass off screen by having to be beat up. We still don't know if there's a director or a character alignment for this group. They did some pretty dastardly things, but then they took out a heel in the process. It's very confusing, very chaotic theory, and I like it.
This should be an AEW because you can't tell if they're baby faces or heels.
Oh no! Oh, they should take out your favorite Austin Theory.
Oh, I would love that.
It looks like facial swelling is gonna do it for him. That poor bastard. That looked gnarly. Did you see? You saw the video, obviously, that he posted. Oh, best wishes.
And dental surgery.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I didn't watch it with sound. I just saw. I knew it wasn't like because he got punched out or anything. No, sometimes like you just wake up and some facial swelling.
No, dental surgery.
It happens.
Who said it? Waller said it was dental surgery because he was like, "Yeah, Austin Theory's not going to be on SmackDown tonight. Dental surgery."
Oh, they're going to take out Nakamura on SmackDown.
Oh, then she come back as a surfer.
Yes. Oh my God, Surfer Shinsuke. I'm all about it. I'm here for it. But anyway, he got dental surgery.
What do you think I said?
I don't know. Dental? Because he used no T? I don't know. So Chad Gable's okay.
Maybe
not. Maybe he gets replaced at the last minute. They find him laid out again. And then they're like, Otis, you go. And then I'm like, yes, go Otis, go. Maybe this should be every single week. Chad Gable gets beat up by these guys just every week.
I'm fine with that. That's a good bit.
That's what they should have done with Ricochet.
Just always Chad Gable.
Just always Chad Gable. Damn it. What did you think of the fact that all the losers with no TV entrances won their Money in the Bank qualifiers on Friday? I saw it first with Chelsea, and I'm like, okay, that's cute. Also, you and I have been wanting Chelsea Green to win Money in the Bank since last year, so that's good. Let's do that. Although it's probably Tiffany Stratton. And then they do it with Mello, and I'm like, you and I talked about how Mello's currently going through it on SmackDown, and his live presentation hasn't been as good as it was in NXT. And then they did the no entrance, and everyone was like, oh, this guy, he's buried. And then he wins. And then they do the thing with Andrade, and I'm like, not going to catch me third time. They caught me a third time. Andrade qualified. The current WWE Speed Champion.
That's right. Can't have him losing.
Yeah, can't have him losing. Big banter on the X when Andrade's around.
I don't mind that the people who didn't have an entrance won. That's fine.
It was just funny.
I do maybe question the people who won.
Go on.
Like Andrade's okay, but this feels, at least with Andrade and Mello, these two feel like their entrance into this match to give them something to do. Because Waller's one half of the tag team champions. Kevin Owens is part of a big storyline. Randy Orton and Tama Tonga part of the big Bloodline storyline. So it's like, oh, what are we going to do with Carmelo Hayes and Andrade? Let's just give them this Money in the Bank match. And then I don't know if they have a follow-up. I hope they do. But if you're going to put them in this match, you should maybe build them a little bit more and also have a follow-up with them, whatever that is. Maybe that means they win the briefcase. Like, they haven't really done anything prior to this that makes me excited to see them in Money in the Bank. I think Melo's presentation hasn't been the best. You know, he lost to LA Knight. He lost to Randy Orton in King of the Ring. He's just kind of been losing matches. I was like, he caught Randy Orton with a roll up because other stuff was going on. Cool. Andrade hadn't really been on television since Mania. I know he's a Speed champion. And then he wins this because other stuff is going on. Grayson Waller's finish sucks, by the way.
Going into the ropes thing. Yeah. I used to like it, and now I'm just like, you can't do that in a good way. The finish, again, the finish of that match was great, but man, the setup to have to go through the ropes, it's like great feat of athleticism, but not the finish.
I actually do think this, Jose. I do think like Santos is probably going to win this qualifier because
I've already said he is.
Yeah, Logan and LA are already feuding. So I don't know who gets pinned, though. That's the thing. Like, I wouldn't pin the U.S. champion. I guess LA Knight gets pinned. But
LA Knight's Teflon. That's the thing with LA Knight, because what does he do? He gets pinned and he's like, yeah, and then everyone's just like, yeah, give him a title shot, and then that's it. That's fine, because LA Knight has already done enough that Logan Paul is going to be pestered into accepting the match. The wins and losses will not matter, because it's just going to be this POS LA Knight keeps getting in my business, and now I need to teach him a lesson. That's the story.
I actually think Logan Paul should be pulled out of the match.
Okay.
Whether it's LA Knight attacking him before and he's not able to do it, and then Logan comes out during the match and attacks LA Knight, and I would put in his place Big Banter, because he's had the thing with Escobar that they apparently have now dropped. They were in, where were they? What was the last PLE? Scotland. Yeah.
They
were in Scotland. I couldn't think of the SmackDown. I was trying to think of the PLE. Gotcha. When Corbin came out and feuded with Legado, and Santos still beat Apollo Crews and everything. I would have Banter in the match, and then he can lose to Santos in the triple threat. So Santos qualifies. But I'd probably take Logan or LA Knight, one or the other. I would probably take them out of this match because they get jumped and attack. LA Knight makes sense too. Logan attacks him before the match, and then LA Knight comes back in the match and goes after Logan. They take each other out. Banter takes the pin. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see it working. Again, they're slowly starting to build Big Banter back in, but who takes out Logan Paul? Did you say so? LA Knight takes him out before the match.
Yeah,
and then they just
fight backstage.
Okay, that I can see. I didn't know if you had started with like someone takes out LA Knight, takes out Logan Paul, and then we find out later. But in the interim, Baron Corbin gets tossed. No, if it's LA Knight doing it, then I 100%.
It doesn't have to be like, because LA Knight like attacking Logan Paul like that is kind of heelish. So it could just be they brawl backstage, and then Logan Paul is like,
forget this, I'm out of here. I don't
yeah.
But then the problem is, but then he's making the opportunity he would have to say it in a way that it's just like, I can get a world title shot anytime I want. I don't need this garbage. I'm out of here.
Well, yeah, he's already done that. He already got his world title shot whenever he wanted.
Yeah. So like, that's fine. If he played up like that, then that works. But if he had done something like, if you didn't explain it that way, then it's just like, why is he walking away from a world title opportunity?
Well, that's why you could also do Logan takes out LA Knight, and LA Knight's unable to compete in the match. And then it's like, oh, well, we need a replacement. Here's Baron Corbin. But then LA Knight still comes out in the middle of the match to go after Logan for costing him, taking him out before the match. So you could do that.
Jacob Fatu just takes out one member of every single triple threat so that he can get involved in the match. And then he still doesn't win the match. He gets thrown out of every single match, even though it's no DQ in a triple threat. He just can't win. And that's how Jacob Fatu gets suspended ahead of Money in the Bank.
Possible.
It's the way it should happen.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Oh, okay.
Let's go with that.
Anyway, we got a few more qualifiers still coming up, for the next little bit. We have 3 people announced for the men's. Jey Uso, Melo, and Andrade. That's the men's. Io and Chelsea qualified for the women's. So we have 4 on the women's and 3 on the men still to be determined. One man and 1 woman gets determined tonight from each. From Raw.
For now.
Yeah, as of right now, 1 woman, 1 man on Raw determined for Money in the Bank. They might add some more. I don't see why they wouldn't, because the show is not this Saturday, but next Saturday, the 6th of July. It's listen, there's a lot going on. Okay, Forbidden Door is this coming weekend. Jeremy is coming to show up on my doorstep. I don't know what I'm doing here, but here I am.
Who do you think wins the women's tonight? Lyra, Shayna, Kyrie?
I think Lyra should win.
Yeah.
Makes sense. And again, if you're going to do a fatal 4-way, and the fatal 4-way gets set up as the people who took the pinfall are not in the match.
No, then that's not a 4-way.
No, because you have to use. So you're doing, how many triple threats do you do to set up a 6? You do.
Oh,
yeah. That's what I'm saying. So if you're doing how many? This is
There's
why
so
the
much
math
math.
is very. I know the math is very upsetting for me. You do 4 to get. Yeah. So
they don't do that though. They don't do like who took the pinfall. They're just like all the losers get in here and wrestle.
Yeah, this is the problem with doing it like that, is how many.
I don't want that.
I know you don't, but your feelings don't matter in this case. We got 4 to be determined. Can you do 2 fatal 4-ways on either side? Yes.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can. How many you did? 1. Somebody with.
They've already got too many people though, because you have 3 men qualified already, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that means
there's 6 total. There's already a SmackDown, or there's a Raw one tonight. Isn't there a SmackDown one? Or no?
So Jay, Mello, and Andrade
Yeah.
means that there are 6 people.
Yes.
You're gonna add another 2. So what is that? 8?
You can only do 1.
So you can do
What?
2. You can do 2 fatal 4-ways to get in.
Why 2? There's only 6 people in the match.
Yeah, and they've only done 3. Oh, and they're gonna add 1 more. Sorry, my math isn't mathing, but yes, you do a fatal 4-way.
Too much math.
I know.
That's why it's stupid. No, I don't think they're doing a losers thing. I don't think they are. I think they're I think they're doing 6 triple threats.
No, because that doesn't work. They're gonna do a last chance qualifier.
I don't think they are. They've already announced all the triple threats for the men's, I think.
No, because we're just talking about how there's still 1 more for the men's to be announced for Raw. Carmelo and Andrade are in. That's on Raw. Oh, sorry, that's SmackDown. And then Jay's in. Tonight they're adding 1 more. They still need, that's 3. So we're halfway there, but we need 2 more from Raw and 1 more from SmackDown.
This is dumb.
I know, right? We're not in Math and Magicians.
This is all stupid.
Regardless, I do think that Lyra wins. And since Io's already in, I feel like Kyrie just be upset. Kyrie's going to be at ringside for the match anyway. You have to assume. For the women's Money in the Bank, seconding Io.
Oh.
You have to assume she's already going to be around for the match. Same thing with Dakota Kai. It's a ladder match. They do a bunch of those spots. Just like I'm sure Piper's going to be around for Chelsea Green.
Yes, SmackDown already has all the men's side on the qualifier. So Raw has 1 less qualifier.
Yeah, Raw probably does a losers qualifier.
They'll
do the 4-way. And then SmackDown will do the women's 4-way.
I don't like any of that. Just stop it. Stop doing loser brackets.
That's the Triple H way. That is the Paul Levesque Booker's way. He's been doing this in NXT forever. This is just the way that he books when he does these triple threat things. It's silly, but it's how he does it.
Louis, this pissed me off so much. We're going to talk about it on FMC tomorrow. So stupid.
I look forward to that conversation tomorrow.
You're not going to listen to that.
No, I won't, but at least I'll know that you're talking about it. Why do Kyrie dirty? Because Kyrie doesn't need to be in the ladder match.
Yeah, I think Kyrie takes the loss because, damage control must change. And so Lyra pins Kyrie tonight. That's my assumption.
Telling you, man, when Io Sky comes back from Japan and brings Bozilla with her, game over.
Rule.
Game over. Bozilla is going to join Damage Control. She's going to be Damage Control. And everyone's going to love it.
The SmackDown already has all the women's qualifiers as well.
Have they?
Chelsea qualified, and they got 2 women's matches on Friday.
No.
Yes.
There's still 4 women to be determined. 1 tonight.
SmackDown has 2 women's qualifiers.
So then maybe Raw's going to be the one that has it.
Maybe, Joel. They're not going to do this stupid loser stuff.
It's Triple H staple. It's Triple H staple.
Stop it.
It's what he loves to do. Shawn Michaels is going to come and dance his ass out there and just be like, can't do it without HB Shizzle doing the quadruple thing.
What if they have an NXT person qualify for this?
Feels like a waste, to be honest.
Why?
Who are they going to get? Who would make the most sense? That would
Michin.
There you go. Michin, who just lost a triple threat qualifier.
Jordan Grace.
Jordan Grace, NXT superstar, Jordan Grace. Joe Hendry, who's already making heat wave comments on it.
Joe Hendry's playing into the stuff. Bless him.
Yeah, of course. That's how you get a gig. It's people saying Sol Ruka. No. I don't think anyone from NXT needs to join this.
I don't think anybody will. Just,
I'm being more of a stickler for tradition than TK. TK loves his traditions. Although he's starting to bend, All Out. It's going to be a week after Labor Day. That's good. It's not good for me because that's my brother's wedding day, but it's good for people who don't want to, go to Chicago during Labor Day weekend when it's very expensive. Yeah. Edward Edwards and Alicia Edwards. Let's do that. Don't count them out. They're pretty good. People don't like them, but they're very good wrestlers. People like TNA, Jeremy Lambert. What can I say?
Do they?
Well, apparently they're selling quite well for Slammiversary.
No, that's good. That's good.
I mean, shoot, we're gonna talk to a TNA star very shortly.
True.
You'll see.
Allegedly.
We'll tell you.
I like getting ahead of these things. You know that.
I know, but sometimes we like to tease them.
Yeah.
Sometimes we like to tease them. Listen, Grab City isn't the only one that gets to talk about having guests and stuff.
Sure.
All right. What's left to talk about? We got about 10 minutes left. What are we going to talk about? What else happened on the SmackDown?
Long as we want. Kayla Braxton is departing WWE.
Yes. I don't have much to add on that.
Oh, okay.
Well, again, she did good stuff during the pandemic, especially. She was very popular during her time on NXT. She did those post shows during the pandemic, during the Thunderdome era, and that was good. And her and Paul Heyman had great chemistry. And other than that, she did the bump. Then she left the bump. Now she lives in LA, and she wants to pursue other goals there. That's great. Good for her. I don't know if you have anything you want to add about her.
I like their banter with Paul Heyman. I'm very scared for Paul Heyman now that Kayla's not around. I feel like he was protected by her, and now it's no longer going to be the case.
Good for her. I hope she lands where she wants, and I hope she does very well. There's not much else I can add. Listen, people leave all the time when it comes to wrestling. People come back all the time. Kathy Kelly. It happens. Some people want to come back. Some people are like, no, I'm going to go do other things. That's what she's saying too. That's what Kayla's saying. She's like, oh, I don't really need wrestling. I can go do anything and blah, blah, blah. I'm not being courted by any other wrestling companies. And here we are. And now the people are going to get weird and say that, Fightful Select reported. Well, no, we didn't. We said that people have been interested, but no one has said that they are talking to. So read the reporting. Okay.
Shane McMahon apparently is not going to join AEW.
Big loss. Huge lost. There was a possibility, there was opportunity, there was so much available to AEW if he decided to go. We did a short on it. Doing great numbers. People know Bryan Danielson and Shane McMahon would do numbers, especially at Wembley. People know. Unfortunately, what they don't know is that when Shane O'Mac called his best pal Adam was like, yeah, that would be cool, LOL. Beth, I got to go pick up the kids. And then they hung up the phone, and that was it. They never spoke of it again.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, pretty much.
No.
I mean, listen, everyone's ready to jump over like, oh, who was Shane O'Mac talking to? I bet it was this person. I bet it was that. And I'm just sitting there being like, you guys know that they're like best friends, right? Like, yeah, you guys know that they've talked each other up for years and like same age, pally pals. Like, you guys know this, right? No one wants to talk about Adam. Nobody cares about Adam. I bet you're very happy about that, Jeremy Lambert.
No, he's injured right now. I wish him the best in his recovery.
Well, of course, Shane McMahon starts a podcast and he runs down the issues with AEW. This would be great. What do you call that? Do you call that Mean Streets with Shane McMahon? Mean Street chatter? Mean Street talking?
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to Here Comes the Money with Shane McMahon.
It's Money Talks.
No, that's Mercedes.
You're right. That's Monet Talks. We've already established that. Oh, man.
Mercedes showed up at CMLL. That was fun.
Yeah, good for her. You know what? They're building this match. I'm glad that they showed the footage on Collision that she showed up at CMLL. It's good. Listen, we know what this match is looking like, right? We understand that, they've hit us over the head with it. New Japan Strong Women's Openweight Championship was made for Mercedes, and then she got injured in the match. They called the audible, blah, blah, blah. So now we're just coming around to what was supposed to happen over a year ago. Okay, sure, fine. That being said, I at least appreciate that they're doing everything that they can to make you understand this is a moment for Mercedes, and that Stephanie Vacher is very good at this, at the wrestling. She's very good and someone you should keep your eyes on. Very much a fan of that. And having her show up in Arena Mexico, that's big. That's big for Mercedes as well. I know she's always wanted to work a match there. So good for her having her first appearance there. She'll be back in that arena. You kind of feel it.
Questionable. That.
Oh, the person who pinned Stephanie Vacher the next night. Yeah, you want to tell the chat who pinned Stephanie Vacher in a match later on?
I know the casual fans, they're not going to show this footage, obviously.
Nope.
Like, it's not going to matter too much, but
they did a Lady Frost vignette. They didn't show you who she was wrestling in that one match where they showed you the Lady Frost vignette.
Little questionable of the decision making of like, yeah, we're gonna have this person pin Stephanie Vacher a week before quite possibly the biggest match for her career.
Former world champion, Jeremy. That's what's important.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's true. Not an infactual statement you just made, but questionable decision there. Questionable.
That's just what we do sometimes. We make questionable decisions and errors in judgment. I'm sure Forbidden Door will be a very fun show, actually. I'm looking forward to it now. I'm wondering
now,
what to do.
They haven't added anything. They added the learning tree.
Yeah, that's why I'm excited for it.
That's why you're excited about it?
I'm excited. Yeah, the learning tree. Chris Jericho. The learning tree. What makes me laugh about this is that, sorry to shit on this person, but someone left a comment after our talk about the Owen and people and why like Jericho's not in it and Mimosa Joe's not in it. And we were like, well, after Saturday, you can see why they could have done something with those two because it would have progressed their storyline. But people weren't really wanting to listen. And then Collision happened. And yeah, now Learning Tree going to take on the team of Hook, Mimosa Joe, and Katsuyori Shibata. And like, it's going to be fine. It's going to be an okay match. It's going to be a fun match. Jericho needs to be on a pay-per-view because it's Jericho. And Mimosa Joe rules. The learning tree.
This story between Hook and Jericho started in March.
That's why you got to pay attention to Jericho, man. You got to take his advice.
In March. Hook agreed to take his advice 1 week after beating him. He was like, you know what? I beat you, but I should still learn from you. And then Samoa Joe just throws himself in here and doesn't care that he lost the AEW World title. It's like, this match, this tournament to earn an AEW World title shot, not that big of a deal. I gotta take care of the learning tree.
The learning tree.
It's not good. It's just not. That match against Private Party, oof. Crowd didn't care. The work was what it was. It was just rough. Big Bill looked good. Bless him.
He did. Wearing his Tony Schiavone trunks.
Just, man. That was, I'm sure the trios match will be okay, but
sure.
Yeah.
Hey, man. I see Ryan Lambert saying someone should book Fozzy on an Everlasting Cruise tour. The only problem with that is guess who books those tours? You're going to hate it when you find out who it is. It's the learning tree. Anyway, I'm looking forward to Forbidden Door because other stuff has suddenly gotten out of the way and there's a bit of a more clear path. And I'm not talking about like storylines AEW. I'm talking like other companies. I know that Money in the Bank is the week after. I know that, Slammiversary, there's no other special TNA events between now and then. I can focus on the build to Forbidden Door for this weekend. Of course, I've been watching, but now I can actually think through like, okay, this match, this is what makes sense. This is what doesn't make sense on top of everything that you and I are already talking about. Who's going to be the last man in the TNT ladder match though? That's a big question for Forbidden Door.
I think it should be a New Japan person. Honestly, it should, because I know it's AEW TNT title, but this card doesn't feel like it has quite enough of a New Japan presence. Like, I hope it's like Yota Tsuji or somebody. Like, that would be cool. I can't remember if they taped they taped Rampage last week, so the Rampage split is already out there. I don't remember if there was a TNT qualifier on Rampage, but I hope it's a New Japan person, because outside of Naito, I know Zack Sabre Jr. is on the card, and then you have Danielson and Shingo. It does, and this is more.
We don't know if it's been struck yet. There's also maybe a Jeff Cobb open challenge.
And I feel like Jeff Cobb was just kind of trying to shoot himself into a work there.
You may very well be right.
Gabe Kidd would be cool. Yota Tsuji. This isn't an AEW problem, by the way. This kind of speaks to where New Japan is, of who their top talents are. The fact that they got their world title on Jon Moxley. In the past years, this would be great because it's like, oh, Okada's coming in. Tanahashi, Jay White. Like these felt like big deals. It's like, well, Tanahashi just kind of shows up now. Okada and Jay White are signed to AEW. Will Ospreay signed to AEW. So like these New Japan, these top three, Jay White, Okada, Ospreay, New Japan talents coming into AEW, feeling like New Japan talents, feeling like one-off something special for Forbidden Door. They're just part of AEW. I don't even know if Okada's going to be on this show. Young Bucks might not be on this show. Like, they got to add some stuff potentially in this last week,
which they typically do.
Yeah, but you're going to add like an Okada Young Bucks trios match against Hiromu, Bushi, and Desperado. Like, is that what we're doing?
No, just do the never open weight 6-man tag championships. Who are they? Who's wearing those belts this week?
Yano,
Perfect.
Tanahashi and Oleg Boltin.
I'm already sold on.
It can't be a title match though, because like
Doesn't have
Okada
to
and the Bucks can't lose that match.
Yes, they can.
No, they can't.
Anyone can lose a match. The Acclaim get involved. They screw over the Bucks again.
No, they can't. No, they can't lose that match.
The ramp. I'm not going to tell you what the Rampage spoilers were, but I'm just looking at them now for Friday. And there's one name that shows up here that I'd like to see in that ladder match, but they didn't tape an actual TNT qualifier. According to this, who knows?
Okay. Yeah, it could just be that it wasn't specified as a TNT qualifier, but will be specified.
Oh, will
as
exactly.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then the match that I'm looking at is the one that I'm like, I'd turn this into it, and it would be fun. I'd like it.
I hope that they do have a New Japan talent in that match, because right now, like the New Japan influence, it doesn't feel like it's a AEW New Japan show. It feels like it's an AEW show, and like CMLL has more of a presence than New Japan. Like Vacker, at least she's shown up on AEW television. I assume Naito will be on Dynamite in some capacity and he'll confront Moxley. Maybe he won't, but that's my assumption. Or I think they're taping Collision on Wednesday as well. I don't think they're actually running Collision live on Saturday. I think they're taping. That's why they taped Rampage a week ahead. I'm pretty sure Wednesday is a Dynamite. Yes, Wednesday's a Dynamite and Collision taping. So I assume Naito will be part of that, confront Moxley, do something there. It also feels like Daniel Garcia should be in this title match, TNT match, and
he should. Sorry, I'm going to say on the promotional material, he is front and center between.
Well, it's because they're in Buffalo.
I understand that, but I'm saying he's front and center between Mercedes and Swerve. I understand he's from Buffalo. They've also been trying to build him. What are they going to do? They're going to give him an international championship match before the show, before Forbidden Door. I don't think that's enough. I agree with you. You put him into a major match like the TNT ladder match. You got to do something with them to build him up in Buffalo and make him extend further.
What should happen is on Dynamite, Naito confronts Jon Moxley. And Jon Moxley's all, we're not waiting until Forbidden Door. We're going to fight on Collision, because it's the same crowd, so the crowd will pop. So Buffalo crowd pops. Collision, Naito against Moxley. Ends in a DQ. Evil, House of Torture. Forbidden Door, triple threat match. Evil, Moxley, Naito. Evil stacks them, smashes them, pins both Moxley and Naito to win the IWGP World Heavyweight title. Evil, the new champion, carrying New Japan into the new era as it should be, alongside House of Torture. Jack Perry wins the TNT title, so House of Torture gets another belt there because he's technically kind of allegedly part of that group. But Naito, Moxley, double pinned by Evil at Forbidden Door.
That's it.
What I would do. Yeah.
That's it. I'm wondering how they're going to run that Collision Dynamite double taping. I'm guessing first hour Collision before Dynamite and then second hour Collision after Dynamite. They've done that before. I'm hoping that they do it again. I'm thinking about our pal Mike Straw. He said he's taking his kid to their first ever wrestling event. And that he's like super stoked for the kid, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking to myself, is that going to make it all the way to like 11, 12 o'clock? Like that's
he is if he's a sicko.
He is
if he's not a real sicko, then he's not going to be able to make it because Collision is for the sickos.
I see the way Mike Straw tweets. I don't think he's a sicko, but I do think that they'll have a good time. And on top of that, I'm like, are they also going to tape Ring of Honor at this show?
I think they got enough Ring of Honor in the can.
Yeah, they've been doing some backlogging, which is good. And I saw that they're also there was an expectation that Ring of Honor would do some tapings at that Arlington residency. They've announced that they're going to do a couple of Ring of Honor tapings, which
4
good.
Four
yeah, they're doing two seatings under 2 days, so that's good. Do that, love it. I just want to see like Ring of Honor not be shoehorned into the tapings, and I'm fine with that. It makes the show a lot easier not to be there for 7 hours on a Wednesday night. It's a long time. Anyway.
Well, if you're a sicko, then it doesn't matter, Joel.
Then I am not a sicko. I go to bed at 10:30. Speedpunk sent us a super chat saying Shadow WX was on H2O 8 effing years anniversary last night, and he was on Madman Pondo's team against Low Life Louis' team. That match ruled. I feel like this is like the most weekender super chat we've ever gotten in our life. I have not watched the H2O anniversary.
Steven Jensen's gonna have to catch me up on that.
Yeah, no, that might have to be your spotlight on Thursday. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
I don't know what else you could use as a spotlight for this your indie spotlight.
There's plenty of stuff.
I know it was a busy week. Sometimes I wonder, like, how does he do the weekender? How does he do what he does? Because Jensen's, he tries to keep plugged in on WWE, specifically Cody Rhodes stuff. That's fine. But like the stuff that he reports on, he's watching these shows. He's keeping up. He watches NWA Power, so none of you have to. God bless.
Oh, Cole did announce Hoodfoot for the Smitty.
Oh, did he? Hell yeah. Hoodfoot putting Jeremy Lambert through a table.
No.
Maybe.
No.
Maybe. He also wants to do a Smitty on WrestleMania weekend. Like not this one, but when they do Indy.
Oh, yeah, I totally believe that.
He'll do it and it'll rule, and maybe at that point they'll put you through a barbed wire firelit table.
You guys got to stop.
It's WrestleMania.
I better get a WrestleMania payday out of it.
You get 2 hot dogs and a handshake. and a shirt. And a t-shirt.
I'm gonna miss the hot dog eating contest on July 4th because I'll be driving. Do you think like they have it? They'll have it on like the radio. I can like listen to it on the radio.
And they don't even do play-by-play. It's just microphones in people's faces. It's like Cookie Monster ASMR for a good 20 minutes. It doesn't matter anyway. The ratings are going to suck because your boy's not going to be there.
Yeah, Chestnut's
gone. Gonna have to wait until the real hot dog eating competition on Labor Day weekend. Is it September 4th? Is it this year? Is that when they're doing it?
I think so. Yeah, Joey Chestnut against
Kobayashi.
Kobayashi, hell yeah. Can't wait for that.
That will be good stuff. I'm excited. Anyway. Is there anything else that we got to round out this week? Or round out this day, I should say? I guess we should probably do a Raw preview, even though we kind of touched on what was going on.
Raw preview.
Have they done a Raw preview? Oh, they finally updated with their Raw preview. Okay. Women's Tag Team Championships on the line. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn take on Casey Squared. Good for them. Braun Breaker versus Ludwig Kaiser.
I'm interested in that match.
I am too. You think Gunther returns? No, I don't think Gunther's coming back until the night after Money in the Bank. Poor Ottawa. You get the return of Gunther. Have fun. Kofi Kingston leaps into this is WWE.com, leaps into the darkness to battle Karrion Kross. Have you watched this 13-minute video that Kross released on socials yesterday? I haven't. I need to know if you have. Wonderful. You didn't write the article, did you?
By the way, Joel, let's not put misinformation out there.
What did I say?
Alba Fire and Isla Dawn against Kaden Carter and Katana Chance is a non-title match.
I didn't say it was a title match. I said the women's tag team champions are taking on.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to put it out there that it is a non-title match. I want to clarify then.
Thank you. If I said that it was, I know that it's not.
All right.
But I don't think I said. Anyway, Kofi Kingston is he's the real sicko. He's going to take on Karrion Kross.
Yeah.
Shayna Baszler, Lyra Valkyria, Kairi Sane for Money in the Bank. We talked about that. And Strowman, Bronson Reed, and Chad carrying around a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and that's why he got knocked out on Monday last week. They are also going to have triple threat. Well, we'll see. We'll see if Chad Gable makes it. Chad Gable's going to walk in with a bullet wound and be like, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine.
I do hope he has like his head bandaged.
He makes it halfway down the ramp, collapses, and Adam Pearce is like, oh, gonna need a replacement for that.
If I'm Dragunov, I'm pissed, by the way.
Yeah, I would be too. Maybe he gets involved in the Kaiser Braun Breaker stuff.
Maybe they got another triple threat match and they don't do a loser's bracket and Dragunov is in that.
I mean, at that point, you're putting Breaker, Kaiser, and because Kaiser also said he wanted to be a part of Money in the Bank.
True.
Why wasn't he hasn't been given a triple threat? So maybe, oh, you know what? They're definitely going to make Kaiser, Breaker, and Dragunov a triple threat for Money in the Bank. Absolutely. Ilya's going to go to Adam Pearce and be like, what is this bullshit? And he's going to be like, all right, fine. Triple threat, Kaiser, Breaker, and you.
Shit, who loses that?
Who eats the pin?
Yeah.
Dragunov.
I don't know. I feel like Dragunov wins.
I feel like Kaiser wins.
I think, okay, maybe. All right.
He's the one guy who said, I'm going to get into Money in the Bank, and they haven't done anything about that since they haven't given him a qualifier. Something needs to happen.
Maybe.
But yeah, Braun wouldn't get taken out.
Yeah, Braun's not taken out. They're
taken
protecting him as they should.
Yeah. Like maybe someone comes out and costs Breaker the match, not to get pinned, but takes him out of like the ring. But yeah, I could see Dragunov getting taken out.
Yeah, Sheamus has got to get feels like he should be somewhere in there too.
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe that'll be it. It'll be Kaiser, Breaker, and Sheamus, and Ilya's left out in the cold.
Just screwed.
Poor Dragunov. He just can't get a break. He'll have to be in that quadruple elimination, everyone's a loser match.
Matches are fine on Raw. I'm mostly looking forward to what Drew has to say and who the Wyatt Six murders next.
Happy birthday, Adam Pearce. You're probably next. Anyway, anything to plug?
Never.
Wonderful. That's true. It might make it over to Reddit, and at that point, it's just game over for you. Go back to the beginning of the show. Everything comes full circle.
People care too much about ratings.
It's true. Listen, I care about the ratings when you leave us a thumbs up and you give us a nice review in the audio form as well. If you're listening to us in audio form, we're back on Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Fireworks are here. You'll be here. We'll talk about everything. Talk about who the Wyatt Six took out next. And we'll probably preview AEW Dynamite. So maybe in the comments, leave your suggestions for what voice should be giving the Dynamite preview.
We got an interview to air maybe on Wednesday.
That's true. We'll announce it once it's in the can. Until then, I am at Joel Pearl, JOELPEARL. Ladies and gentlemen, friends beyond the binary. We'll see you in the next one. Cheers.